Are you ready to learn and experience the process of becoming a Medicare machine?
What it is. We're having a really fun time today. We're having a special, instead of a podcast, we're going to do a squad cast today. We have several members of the Medicare Peace of Mind, Insurance Peace of Mind, Legacy Peace of Mind squad joining us today. So let's get them in here. Everybody knows Tyler. Everybody, my guy, Mr. Shane Harshman. We have Craig Livers joining us from Indiana, and Diana Ruiz Subias or something like that. Or what's the new last name?
It's Subias.
No, see, I got it right. So, yeah, we are excited. We are here. We are fresh off. Most of us fresh off of SWAT. I think all of us went to SWAT. All of us on this. That's a coincidence. I think it must be a coincidence that 5 of the people that went to SWAT are fired up this week and ready to rock and roll on a Zoom on Friday. So yeah, thanks for joining me. Let's go around the horn. Everybody knows or they watch us talk to each other all the time. But yeah, Shane, why don't you introduce yourself and tell everybody a little bit about who you are, how long you've been in the business, and that kind of stuff.
I'm Shane Harshman. I started with Josh about 2.5 years ago. Just recently, I'm still with Josh underneath him, which is awesome. Started my own name, Harshman Peace of Mind, my own company, insurance. I have an open house Friday here in Brush, Colorado. Ribbon cutting at 11. So you can hear me on KSIR. Well, not me, but the advertise. And I just love helping people. It's been a blast.
Nice. Well, we'll get into that a little bit deeper on the process of not just starting a company, but opening an office and doing all that kind of stuff. There's a lot that goes into that. That's for sure. Okay, Diana, what about you?
Hi, everybody. My name is Reese. I have Joshua. I started in 2021.
Somebody has some weird audio. There's like a bunch of weird pops and cracks and something on somebody's. Let me mute me and make sure it's not me.
I started with Joshua for 2021. I was brought in as an office assistant. In April, I moved out in Colorado at the office with him, and I moved out at the beginning of March, and he helped me transition into becoming an independent broker myself. I've officially been a broker since April of 2023. It's been great. It's been challenging, but I am really happy to be part of an amazing team like Medicare, Insurance, Legacy, Peace of Mind.
I got to unmute myself before I talk. Great. And Mr. Craig.
Hello there. I'm Craig from Indianapolis, Indiana. This is my 15th year helping seniors enroll in the best Medicare plan we can find for them. Been with Joshua's team for a year now. Excited and ready to roll.
And last but not least so far, Mr. Fred. Oh, you choose to mute yourself. So unmute yourself, Fred. And what's up, Fred? Tell everybody who you is, where you're from, and what you do.
Well, I wasn't sure if that was my interruption. I was doing a crackling, but anyway.
No, I don't think it is.
But hey, how you doing? I'm Frederick Sanders. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I've been with Joshua Young's Medicare Peace of Mind / Legacy Peace of Mind since, I would say, Josh? August, September.
Well, you did a ride along with me in AEP, and then you took off.
I jumped in October 30th in the middle of AEP. I previously came down and did a ride along, did a quick, brief understanding of what Medicare is, and just jumped out there in the middle of it. So I've been selling and been on the team since October, so I say like 6 or 7 months. So just excited to move forward and learning a lot from you guys. And man, it's a it's an incredible road. So excited.
Good. So I wanted to do something different this week as far as how the podcast goes. So we got a question already on YouTube, actually. Hello, I'm in my first year as a Medicare agent. We also had someone that said, "Hey, Fred, I'm in South Haven." I got squirreled for a second. Okay. Hello, I'm in my first year as a Medicare agent. I'm 9.5 months in, and I've got 205 clients on the book. First of all, bravo. 205 clients in the first 9 months is killing it. Doing around 20 per month on average. I'd like to become a 40 to 50 app per month agent. Any tips? I buy 3 direct mail pieces per month, get around a 1% return, and have an appointment setter call them. I set up tables at carrier events and set up a table at Walmart weekly. So anyone looking to grind out and crush their first 9.5 months should take a page from that book, which is Say Yes to Everything, which is what I tell everybody. But so the answer Crusader, which is an awesome name, by the way, on how your question, should I start doing seminars? 100%. Should you start building referral partners? Absolutely. But more than likely, what you're going to do, if you want to get from 20 apps per month to 40 to 50 apps per month, it's less about doing more and more about doing things more efficiently. So if it's taking you an hour and a half to do an appointment normally, scale that down to 45 minutes. And then you can fit an extra 2 to 3 appointments in a day with more efficiency. So, and if you really scale down your efficiency to a good level, you can get a good 12 to 15 appointments in a day, where most agents would say, I can do 7 or 8. And so more than likely, if you're wanting to double your production at the level you're at now, it sounds like you would just need to push the gas on buying more leads. Jalen, that's an awesome name. But I like Crusader too. That Jalen the Crusader is what I'll call you from now on. But yeah, you basically increase your efficiency, find out ways that you can compress time, things that you're doing that are taking too long, undo those things, and things that you can eliminate from your process that aren't giving you any value. You should eliminate those as well. But yeah, it's you're crushing it. So what I would also recommend doing is don't adjust too much, because sometimes big adjustments can cause big falls in productivity. So great job. But yeah, great questions. Those are great questions. And if you're watching, that is kind of what the show is about. If you want to pass questions into us, we can throw it around the panel and stuff like that. That would be, a similar situation where Fred's at. I guarantee Fred would love to be at 205 clients on the books. Diana would too. Shane, everybody, right? Is there anybody on the team that would not like 200 clients in 9 months? So keep going it.
Yeah, this person's asking us for advice. We should be asking him for advice. He's crushing it.
Craig, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. So maybe in the next couple of weeks, Jalen, we can have you on the podcast, because I'd love to pick your brain on the other side. Because to be all honestly, a lot of times on our team, there's a reason why Jalen's tuning in, right? He wants to learn from us, but oftentimes we'll learn from others more than anything else. And oftentimes, I think it's your mic, Craig. I'm going to mute you. There you go. Yeah, it is your mic. So I don't know. I'm not sure what's causing it, but we hear a constant. Sounds like you're going. So
no, it's not me. It's not me.
Well, it goes away when you mute, so I think it's you. Maybe not you directly, but it's something that your phone, you're out something.
No, I muted and I still hear it.
Does anybody else hear it now?
No.
Yeah. So yeah, it's something to do with yours then for sure. Yeah.
Connection problem.
My email, Jalen, is joshua@medicarepeaceofmind.com, or send me a message on Instagram. We'll definitely link up and get you going. So the Facebook user, it didn't tell me who you are. Say good morning. Whoever said good morning, let us know who you are, because it doesn't say who you are. But so what I want to do, it's easy for people like Tyler and I to forget what it's like to be new. what it's like to wonder, how am I going to not only write an app today, but how am I going to pay for gas? How am I going to eat? How am I going to make sure that my spouse has food and water and happiness and all those things? And what I think a lot of the reason that it's Sherry Kelly. Good morning, Sherry. Nice to see you.
Morning, Charlie.
But I think a lot of agents get caught up in when we start our own business. Most of us come from an environment, and we'll start with you, Diana, when we go around this, because you came from working for someone else, and that's Tyler did the same thing. Shane was already an agent when I found him. Craig was already an agent when I found him, and Fred owned his own trucking business when I found him. So those three already understand the grind of being an entrepreneur, how some days you feel like you're the king of the world, and some days you feel like you're going to quit and die on the road, right? Die on the vine, as my old mentor would say. But so I'm curious, Diana, my guess is, because I personally made the change voluntarily from salary to commission only. And I can give my perspective, but I'm curious to hear from you, Diana. What are the top three things that are happening that you didn't expect?
There's a lot of things happening. I have a lot of emotions. First of all, I'm very happy. I was not expecting, I guess I wasn't expecting to feel so free, I guess. But at the same time, I wasn't expecting to have so much accountability on my shoulders, if that makes any sense. Whenever you work for somebody else, speaking of SWAT, we went to SWAT, and there was a statement that said, you work all these hours for somebody and you're willing to put in extra hours, all that kind of stuff. You don't question it. There's a certain work ethic where you come from, and that's just how it goes. And then all of a sudden, it's you. It's just you providing for yourself, for your family. And I feel like there's so much more accountability in that. And I was not expecting that. I mean, not that I wasn't going to be accountable for myself, but that was not something that I thought would happen or that I would feel. Freedom. I was expecting that in a way, but again, it's freedom. But I feel like I'm still in a very risky position. What other things are happening? I knew I was going to be struggling mentally, but it's a different kind of mental struggle. I'm aware of what needs to happen or what I have to do to keep my mentality. And the challenges that I have been facing with that are very different than the challenges I have in the past. In the past, I always felt like I was stuck, just kind of doing the same thing over and over and over. I felt like I didn't actually have something working for me. I mean, I was constantly working for somebody else, just to pay the bills. I always felt like I was stuck. So a mental challenge is very different than the mental challenge I'm facing now. Now I feel like I'm actually going somewhere, but at the same time, I'm struggling to stay consistent and to wake up and grind. If that makes sense. It was definitely different. I would much rather deal with the mental struggle I'm dealing with right now than with the mental struggle that I was dealing with just 5-6 months ago, where I feel like I was going. I don't know if that makes anybody, but I hope it does.
Yeah, you're chopping up a little bit at the end there, but no, it does. And it's what I tell everybody because I've sat down at restaurants with people that don't tip, that are rude to waiters and waitresses and other stuff. And I always want to tell them, like, look, you've obviously clearly never been a waiter, because I challenge you to go put the apron on and go serve 15 tables for all night. And I want to see you be perfect with bringing the ranch and all the other stuff that goes with it, because it's a tough job. And you're working for in Colorado. They don't have a minimum wage for waitresses and waiters thing. So you're getting, like, when I was doing it, it was like $2 an hour. I don't remember what you were getting, Tyler, when you were doing it, but some menial amount. And so you're relying 100% on tips, and you're trying as hard as you can. It's the same thing here. When you're starting your own business, one of the things that I learned really quickly was, maybe I should have respected my previous boss a little bit more, because they're taking all the risk. They're putting in all the work. They're making sure that I have a platform that all I got to do is show up and then I get paid. Like, I never have to doubt that on payday in that morning when I wake up, there's money there because I put my hours in. And that mind shift from how many hours did I put in to how much can I get out of the hours I do put in. A lot of us try to go to the end result and enjoy the fruits of the labor first. So one of the mistakes I made in the first couple of weeks was, well, I can just take a couple of days a week off because I work for myself now. So I might, where's the dream life of this being an entrepreneur thing? And very quickly I realized that only working 60% of the time earns 60% of the paycheck at best. But in our business, this is a momentum business. So the longer you can stay on the rail car, even when you feel like it's not moving, the farther you're getting. And so, yeah, Diana, that's really good perspective. The challenge for all of us when we get the freedom is literally the freedom itself. And so most of us have that transition where we have to learn to be our own boss. And for me, honestly, it really didn't become that situation until I had an office. Before that, it was helter skelter. I'm blessed in how prepared I was for the field. So for me, production was never an issue. For me, it was like Jalen. It was basically I crushed it out the gate. And so it was how much more can I do, more so than how am I going to survive? But I bit off more than I could chew. So even as well as I did, I still was short and I was having to borrow money and I was having to, and so don't be afraid to do that. Like for those of you that are building your business, number one, it's your business. And so when it's your business, you have to understand in the beginning, you have to be every position in the restaurant. You have to be the cashier. You have to be the manager. You have to be the cook. You have to be the dishwasher. You have to be every single piece of the restaurant. And you have to put it at the highest level possible. Otherwise, you won't get the results, right? So, Fred, you're in month, 9 or 10 or whatever that is, basically the same as Jalen, but you haven't had the same level of success. So my guess is just from reading if you read what Jalen's doing, he's doing 3 direct mail drops per month. Raise your hand on my team if you're doing 3 direct mail drops per month. Okay. So that's why you're not writing 20 applications a month. And sometimes in the beginning, you're going to have to spend your lunch money to earn dinner money. Right. And that mindset's got to be there because you have to believe in yourself. Trust me when I looked Aaron in the eye several times and I said, don't worry, I'm spending the last $500 we have on a lead drop, but it's going to pay off. Okay. And that mindset is tough, especially when you say 3 drops, because he didn't say, so Hank asked how many drops. So if you're still on, Jalen, how many in each drop are you doing? Are you doing 3? Is it 3 separate 1,000 piece drops? Is it 3 2,000 piece drops? For me, if I was going to try to launch off of leads, which for me, I don't like leads all that much, to be honest. And so I figured out a way to launch myself with grassroots marketing. So I did the opposite play that Jalen did. But the point of that is for all of you on the team and everybody watching, you can do this a million different ways. Just like fishing. I signed my family up for a fishing membership yesterday for the rest of the year because we don't have any good fishing places. But they have 46 species of fish in these 4 ponds. 46. And I can tell you that the lure to catch a muskie is different than a lure to catch the trout. Different than, and same thing. What he told me yesterday was the trout, now it's getting too hot, they're going dormant. So don't try to fish for trout unless it's really early in the morning or late in the evening. Go after other species until the water temperature drops back down. Same thing for us. You can go after different client types. And he said 3 different 1,000-piece drops. And so for all of you watching, wondering the math, if you're doing T65 drops, that's roughly $650 every drop. So you spend about $1,800 a month. But if you're writing 20 apps back, you're profitable. Hell, if you write 5 apps back, you're profitable. So you got to stop thinking when you're a business owner, you cannot think with an employee mindset. Now, in addition to that, Jalen, I'm going to use Jalen. He's the superstar example in the morning. He says he's also sitting at a Walmart several days a week. He's also sitting in a PCP office 20 to 25 hours a week. So when you can't afford more than, like, my guess, Jalen, is if you could afford 3,000 name drops, you would do that. But you're scaling up to that. And so the same thing. If you can only afford a 1,000-piece drop, then do that. If you can't afford it, trust me, you can. Trust me when I say you can. All of us, and when I was thinking about this the other day, I could walk through my garage and I could find you $2,000 worth of stuff that I haven't touched for 5 years. I've just moved it around to different houses with me, wondering what day I'm going to become a carpenter or some shit. I have a chop saw that I bought that I've chopped one time where I cut a 2x4 and I haven't used it since. So all of you have things like that in your house. All of you have resources that you're not tapping into. And so when I ask somebody, are you all into the business? Let's go around the horn. Tyler, what does that mean? What does all in mean to you? I know, wake up. I'm done talking.
It's all in. Everything. I mean, self-investing, willing to sacrifice whatever it takes. I mean, when I started, I quit my job working at the warehouse where I had a good union gig, standard salary, kick-ass benefits, dumped every bit of money that I had in there, begged, borrowed, and stole everything I could, racked up credit cards, and ended up very fortunate to have someone I could get a loan from and have kind of a line of credit with, and went about $10,000 into debt with that. So, I mean, it was all in, sacrifice,
so
birthdays, anniversaries.
Let's break that down, Tyler. So Tyler, what I know about Tyler, I love Tyler to death. I've known him since we were 4. Tyler is very good with his money. If you handed Tyler $10,000 and you handed Joshua $10,000, I'm like the federal government. I would immediately spend the $10,000 and then ask you for another 10. Tyler will have packed that away and planned out its usage for the next 22 months. And so Tyler has a very good credit score. So while he might not be heavy on cash, he's heavy on smart financial planning. And if you have a good credit score, trust me when I say you can go down and get a line of credit for your business that can float you for the first year. You certainly could do that. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. Now, I'm proud to say I have never, ever, other than the payroll protection loan that they offer everybody for free, I have never taken one dime of funding to build my business. I haven't used one dime of funding other than borrowing from friends to pay my mortgage or this or that in the first year, which is a source of funding, but not traditional bank loans, that kind of thing. Because my credit is the opposite of Tyler's credit, right? And so, but that's an example of leveraging what he had in the beginning. So what Tyler had in the beginning was the will, the desire, and he was trained on the skills, and then he used what resources he had to make it happen. For me, I didn't have the same resources he had, so I used the knowledge I had and the skills I had to go out and do grassroots. Shane already so I'm going to go to Shane next on my screen. He's next on the Brady Bunch around the horn. Okay. Shane, how I met Shane was he came into my office and tried to pitch me what?
Family Heritage,
supplemental
supplemental insurance.
Me some kind of insurance. And so for those out there that are thinking about business to business soliciting my office, just be warned that I will try to counter and recruit you back. And that's exactly what I did. I basically looked at Shane and I said, so how are things going for you with this? And, give me an idea of, how successful you are and this and that. And you could tell. One thing I knew about Shane right away, because he came into my business, was what?
That I can go in anywhere and talk to anybody.
That you're not afraid to door knock. And anyone not afraid to door knock is welcome on my team, because that is the most uncomfortable position you can be in a sales environment, is door-to-door sales. If you've never done door-to-door sales, whether it's like for me, I think back when I was a kid, they used to force me to door-to-door sell freaking chocolate bars to fundraise for the baseball team. And you know what I do every time? I would eat all the chocolate bars and then beg my dad for the money, which is, by the way, that is a skill in and of itself. Again, that's a skill that I learned over time to refine a resource now. But Shane, tell me, so you've been in it a year. It feels like it's been longer. You sure it's only a year?
I
It's
said
definitely
2 to 2.5 years.
Okay, two and a half years. So in that 2.5 years, what I would tell you about Shane is he's breaking every rule that I have. He doesn't show up for trainings. He doesn't participate. He does things his own way. He doesn't follow the system. He takes ideas and concepts and then makes them his own immediately without implementing them first and proving that they work. And you know what it's done? It's worked like a dream. Shane is consistent in his numbers. He's not going to be at the top of the leaderboard. He's not going to be at the bottom. He's going to be solid and steady. He's going to do it his way. He's authentic. And out where we are, everybody knows him. A third of my clients will go, oh, yeah, one of your people sits in the Sterling Walmart, or they're talking about Lori, or they'll say, oh, yeah, I've seen one of your people over at the Goodwill. Oh, yeah, that's Shane. You know, oh, Harshman? No, I know Harshman. So he has that power of the people is what I call it. The gift of gab. If someone tells you have the gift of gab, then what you should be focusing on is grassroots. You should be focusing on the relationship side of marketing. If you don't have the gift of gab, then you need to be working leads, because working leads is more like shooting a rifle. Who'd we lose? Craig?
Great.
It's like shooting a rifle. Okay. And so Shane, tell me your perspective. Give me 5 tips for somebody, because not for year 1, but somebody's in year 2, 2.5, because you've now made the transition to opening an office and hiring your first assistant. So tell everybody about that process and what it's done to change your business.
Well, when I started, Josh and I was like, oh, I don't care about how my whole business, a team or whatever. And as I got into it, it's like, you're at a wall. So you need to look how you can grow and get bigger and make more money. But doing this has been exciting. I mean, I don't know how to explain it really, but I just wanted something for myself. I have my mom, my kids. I got to be a caretaker too. That's the hard part. So people talk about, oh, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. I'm in my office between 6 and 6:30 every morning. Josh, you can attest when I was in your office there. The best time out here to call your businesses is 6 o'clock in the morning. Humana, Aetna, WellCare, whatever. You're first on the phone. You don't have to wait. But you just got to be steady, put the hours in. I probably put 12, 15 hours in, 16 between family and business. And I cheated this year. But son was playing college baseball, probably going to be his last year. I decided to go watch because I had the time to do it. But I understood my business.
Cheating, Shane. That's enjoying the fruits of your effort. That's not cheating. That's part of the reason why a lot of us wanted to get into this business, was that freedom of schedule, right? And so don't say it like that to yourself, because that's a negative. What you say is, I earn the right to show up at my son's baseball games like other parents can't. Yeah. It's because that's the message we need to share to other people and inspire them that, like, look, this business can change your life. Like, if I wanted to, I could literally go sit in class with Paige every day for the next 2 or 3 years if I wanted to. I could go to school with her if I wanted to. But tell me about your sons and how you're getting them involved.
So they are in the office right now. They're typing up addresses, stuff for me to put out for, and I did take Josh's advice, my flyer for people that are going to help for losing Medicaid or changed. It says sweet, short and sweet. So that's what I did.
That's fantastic. I'm proud of you, Shane. I give Shane a hard time. It's not that he doesn't listen to me. He listens to the ideas I have, but I forgot when he came in that he was not new. And so I'm like trying to treat him like he's new, like do it exactly this way, when he can really make adaptations because he's already earned his stripes in the field, right? And that's important too. Don't be afraid if you're working with or for or have a mentor that's pushing you in a direction that you really just don't want to go. Number one, I would try it first, because that's probably pushing you towards a comfort zone or outside your comfort zone. You need to do that to grow. But at some point, and I'm going to circle back to Jalen for a second. before you focus on diversifying your marketing, I would triple and quadruple down on what you're already doing so effectively first, and stay in the niche pocket until it dies or dries up on you. Then start to pivot to other stuff. Now, that doesn't mean you don't sprinkle in some grassroots. So when you say try to diversify, number one, I'm working on my son with this. Just eliminate the word try out of your damn vocabulary, please, because you don't try to do shit. You either do stuff or you don't. And you either do them well or you don't. And if you don't do them well, keep doing them till you do them well. But don't try anything, because if you try anything, you're half-assing it. If you half-ass it, you're not going to. You have 0% chance of success. So I would urge you and everyone on this podcast and whoever watches this, eliminate the word try out of your vocabulary. And anyone that says it, check them right away and say, "Hey, try is not allowed around me. Are you or are you not going to do it?" Because when you get people to commit, yourself included, you'll find results lie. All right. Fred, what is your biggest fear with the business?
Not being successful.
Okay.
When I say that, I've been good at everything I've done in my life. Medicare is a different.
Right away?
Say it again.
Right away?
Yeah, I pretty much everything I've done just took money, you know. So
Mr. Savant over here.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, let's play devil's advocate. So,
Okay.
were you successful in trucking?
Yeah.
Okay. And so then why are you making the change?
Family.
Okay. Freedom of time.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we run a traditional business in this country, so let's say I wanted to go start a liquor store. Okay.
Mhm.
How many hours am I going to have to work a week to run a liquor store?
I say 60 to 80 hours.
Well, let's do the math. What hours of the day are liquor stores open? How many hours do drunks want to buy booze?
24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but legally they can't, right? So they have to shut
18.
down from certain periods of time.
12 to 6 is the close time. So you got 18 hours a day, and they can't be open on Sundays in some states. So it depends where you're at.
So let's call it 7 days a week. How many hours a day? 18?
18.
That's 70 hours plus
126.
126 hours a week until you can afford to hire somebody. Because when you rent retail like that, not only do you think about this. Like if I told you, Fred, to start your insurance business, you had to rent a store, you had to pay for, well, I don't know, $100,000 of inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have 20 bottles of wine and 20 bottles of vodka and 20 bottles of this, 20 bottles of that, 20 bottles of this, until you built up your inventory, right? Where in the trucking, like when I was in Memphis, Collierville last week, we were driving back from Tupelo, we drove by the lot that you store your trucks. I'm guessing that no one gave you those trucks.
No.
I'm guessing you had to buy those trucks.
Correct.
Right? So in this business, with no overhead, no upstart cost. I mean, how much did it cost you to start into this business?
Nothing.
Well, it didn't cost nothing, but how much?
What I paid for a health license.
Health license, life license, and then you had to get E&O and what else?
AHIP.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're all in at 500.
Yeah.
Okay. How much did it cost you to start your trucking company?
Thousands of dollars.
Okay. So
trucks, trailers. I say easily over $90,000.
So why did you not fail at trucking?
Because I knew I had to make my return fast.
You put so much in, you had no choice but to win.
Yeah.
So I did the same thing. I didn't buy a trucking company, but when I went into the field, first I bought a new house, which took my mortgage from $1,200 a month to $2,800 a month. Took my electric bill from $70 a month to $160 a month. Took my water bill in the summertime from $35 a month to $500 a month. Anyone want to pay $500 a month to water the lawn? That's what it costs to water my lawn. Okay. Now, I didn't know all this. Fred, you're a calculated individual. So you're approaching this. But what I would say to Fred is, what if you were to invest 20 or 30 grand into this business in leads and activity over the next 5 months? Do you think you would behave differently?
Yeah.
Like when you start investing time and money into something, you feel more obligation with yourself to pull more out of it. And so for those of you that are saying you can't, go ahead, Fred. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was gonna say, I think my thing with this is I'm a type of person, I need to see what I'm putting my money into. I guess I haven't seen that. You know what I mean? I'm ready. You know.
Well, I can show you my bank account if you want.
Well, yeah, I know that, but that's the result of your investing. But what does it look like?
That's what you're putting it into. So here's what I would say. I'll use the liquor store analogy again. Okay, I'm setting up the liquor store. Now, would you guess that there's certain types of liquor that sell more than others?
Absolutely.
Okay. So why do they carry all?
Because it's a wide variety of different flavors, tastes, what people like.
Same thing. Okay. So leads, why would you just try one? Right. If it were me, I would be let's try this lead company. Let's try this lead company. Let's try this lead company. What's the worst thing that can happen? You get no leads. I think that's the worst thing that can happen is you could spend money and get 0 leads. I've done it before. It's not the most fun experience, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't happen very often.
Yep.
And most of the times when it has happened, whoever I've bought leads from has owned it and they made it better. Redid a drop, they did something else, they gave me leads, something. Oh, they don't want, if you're a lead company selling leads, the last thing you want is your customer having the experience of no leads, because then they tell other people about that. So,
I was going to say though, Fred is the type of individual that he can pretty much dial in what he wants to do with the way he analyzes things. So, with your trucking company, when you first started that, what service were you offering?
I started in the oil field. So,
all right. And did that expand to other opportunities and different things?
Yeah.
So if you're running the liquor store and all you're stocking up with is some little mini shooters of peach schnapps, what are you going to sell? Right? Little mini shooters of peach schnapps.
Yeah.
And as you start to profit from that and expand into it, you can grow it that way. The other thing is you could go buy, the half liters and handles for everything and start stocking your inventory more fully so you have more to offer.
Yep.
Leads are no different. And so the biggest problem for anybody in our business is having enough people to sit in front of.
That's it.
So anybody that's not crushing it doesn't have enough people to sit on. So I'm going to use Jalen as an example. What he's done is he's done a combination of leads and sitting in front of people. So whether it's at the food bank sitting in front of people, whether it's at the Walmart sitting in front of people, whether it's at a doctor's office sitting in front of people, setting up shop in the parking lot of the dollar store, Goodwill, Safeway, wherever, that doesn't matter. What matters is you're putting yourself in front of people. You're putting yourself in an environment where, like, has anyone here ever been anywhere but a body of water with an expectation of catching a fish? Like if you're going to go fishing, you don't go to the forest, right? You go where the fish are. So if you're wanting to catch fish, if you want to catch Medicare people, go start sitting around and fishing where they are. So when we say go develop a relationship with the financial advisor's office, is the financial advisor office going to let you set up a table in their office? No. So that's not what we're talking about. Does the primary care doctor's office want more patients? Yes. Do we have an opportunity to help them get more patients? Yes. Can we also fill other points of pain for them, like helping them find problem solving for claim issues and other stuff? Yes, yes, yes. So put together a strategy for yourself that includes all of the above. Figure out what you're good at, figure out what you like, double down on that stuff, and buy leads like it's your, like I said, if you were a liquor store business and you're brand new to town, what are you going to do? You're going to send a postcard to everybody in the area with a little coupon on it for 20% off your first order or whatever. If you don't, then I don't know how you're going to grow your business. Same thing with Medicare. You don't have to send a coupon. But Diana, as an example, why wouldn't we, Fred, as an example, why wouldn't we, Shane, as an example, Tyler, as an example, you all were either new to your area. So Shane, you just opened an office in a new area. Diana, you just moved to a new area. Fred, you just started a new business in your area. Tyler, you just moved to a new area. Why not do what most businesses do and do a campaign of just awareness first that, hey, I frickin' exist and I am here. Why not putting a radio ad up like you did, Shane? Why not put an ad in the local newspaper announcing your presence? Like, I'm here to help. This is what I do. This is how I help people. And if you can't afford a newspaper ad, then sell something so you can. It's not that expensive. Trust me. Find a way or find an excuse. I can't afford it is the excuse. I sold some shit so I could afford it is finding the way. If you don't like to sell your shit, borrow some money. Like for me, I have a hard time selling my shit. So for me, I'd much rather borrow $100 from my brother or my mother or somebody else or my friend than I would sell something. Other people would never, ever ask for help. Like they can't do that. So they'd rather sell their own stuff silently or go to the pawn shop. Don't pawn it, sell it. Here's why. Unless it's a family heirloom, you don't need to pawn it. You don't need to get it back. What you need to do is sell it, let it go, make room in your life for better things. So get rid of your prize TV and have a goal that after you get your first freaking paycheck, you buy one twice as big or twice as nice. And have the mindset, I'm not selling it to get rid of it. I'm selling it to replace it with something better. I'm selling it to open up an opportunity for myself to get to the next level. So Diana.
That reminds me of
go ahead, Tyler.
With Tim Grover. Everybody, I got to get my shit together. What happens when you get your shit together?
Now you have a pile of shit. Yeah.
Get rid of your shit.
Get rid of the shit. Don't pile your shit up. And so go through your life and get rid of the people that are wasting your time. Get rid of the stuff, the people that are dragging you down. And sometimes it's family. Okay. I love my family to death, but there's been times in my career where I've had to stop talking to them for a while. And for those of you that are on the grind up, just be forewarned, there's a reason they say it's lonely at the top. Because the second you start having success, people either try to knock you down or all the people come out of the woodworks that all of a sudden your best friend needing to borrow money, needing to do this, needing to do that. Can you donate to this cause? Can you donate to that cause? You have no idea how many pitches I get a week from people trying to get money. Okay. But again, why are we willing to work harder for other people than we are for ourselves? And you should ask yourself that question every morning. Am I doing? Because I'll tell the team all the time, and I don't even know if they believe me or not. But if you go into the day with the mindset, if you're not going to bed without an application, it's going to happen. But you can't just say it. You have to believe it. And then you have to go out and hold yourself accountable. And so how do I hold myself accountable? Well, for you, Fred, what I would do is I would call my friend Joshua and I would say, hey, I need you to hold me accountable. And Joshua would call Taylor and tell Taylor, hey, Fred's not allowed to come home until he writes an application. He has to text message us proof of an application. Because here's what I know about Taylor. She loves Fred to death, but she'll do what it takes to make him grow. Right? Tyler, it would be the opposite. I'd have to pick an army of people to threaten him with because he thinks he's Spartan warrior and he's going to kill us all. But for Tyler, the motivators are different and the accountability is different. But with Tyler, I don't have to worry about it most of the time. Tyler is self-accountable. Shane is self-accountable. So even though he doesn't show up to trainings and other stuff, he doesn't need to. And here's why. It's okay wherever everybody is. And if Shane's comfortable with where he's at, Shane's going to be comfortable where he's at. Here's what I know about Shane. He's not comfortable with where he's at. Why? Because he's making big time moves to grow. And people that are comfortable with where they're at don't make big time moves to grow, like opening an office. You don't open an office to coast. You open an office to take it to the next level. You don't move to New Mexico to coast. Because I think we could argue, Diana, it's maybe stressful, but the way you were going, you were on the precipice of another very large raise. And so financially, for what you were doing, it could have become a very comfortable position for you, which makes it even harder. Tyler, when I begged Tyler for about 7 years, because at the time, the main reason I begged Tyler was because I could see the vision. I could see the potential of what this was, but I was not far enough away from the mistakes I made as a youth. I couldn't get licensed. So I'm like screaming from the bank of the there are fish everywhere and nobody wants to fish. Nobody believes me that there's fish because Tyler was working overnights, loading trucks for grocery stores or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Which solid living, whatever, keeps you in shape, I guess. But
I was in way better shape.
if you're working the graveyard shift, how much family time is there?
Oh, there was family time. It just really sucked because I was getting 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep, sacrificing
Well,
other
it's
places.
not sustainable.
And so it wasn't, and it wasn't quality either. I'm tired trying to play with a 3, 5, 6-year-old little girl and run around and do all that stuff. Daddy can't be a pony when he's got 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah, no, you're more irritable then. You're less likely to have fun. All those things, right? And so it's all this big snowball effect. Same thing with this. Everybody understand this is a snowball. The momentum Shane has came from him slowly pushing the snowball until it found a little bit of a downhill.
Well, and one thing I gotta say, Shane, you've dialed in too, where you're at with taking knowledge base, going against the grain to make it your own. But Josh has mentioned this several times. Your clients are your clients. You're attracting the fish that you want. You're using the lures that are working for you, and you're getting the people that want to work with Shane. You know, you could show up in a suit and tie, and that would turn a lot of those people off because they're not going to be comfortable with you because it's not who you are.
No.
Yeah.
So, you got to be who.
Go ahead.
You got to be who you are. Tyler's right. I show up in wintertime in shorts, and I do it. I'm comfortable. I'm going to be comfortable. The other thing in this business I found out, if you do something out of the ordinary, all you want to do is talk to you. Get them to talk to you. Open up. First thing they say, it's 30 degrees out and you're in shorts. Yeah, I know. And I do health insurance.
So where do you think that comes from? Do you think you'd be the same way when you were 25?
No.
Okay.
No.
So again, for those of you that are out there, let's see, Fred and Diana, what's your next big move? We got a question from Facebook user. I'm assuming it's Sherry again.
Negative. That would be Miss Erin.
Oh, Erin. Okay.
My next big move is a seminar. We're working on my first lead drop. And like I just mentioned, just learning what that looks like. I don't know what that looks like yet, but I'm willing to just dump it, dump as much money as I can to get where I want to be. I have big goals, big desires. So getting over the fear of standing in front of people and speaking about the broad spectrum of Medicare, I just have to do it. And you just have to be willing to just jump out there. And I'm ready to do that because I know where I want to be.
I'm pretty I have my first session scheduled already, and I'm super excited. I've always wanted to do a seminar. I actually like presenting in front of people, although I like to do it now. And then when the day comes, I'm going to be really nervous. But yeah, same thing, just, getting out there in front of people. I'm actually trying to target the Hispanic population as well. So that makes me a little bit nervous. I'm going to have to present a seminar on Medicare information in Spanish. I don't know how that's going to go, but I am very excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I know that I am doing something good because I am nervous. So yeah, I'm just going to jump on those seminars, and I've been trying to do a little bit of grassroots, like Joshua said, trying to put my name out there. I have been visiting some businesses.
You're not trying, you're doing.
I'm doing. Sorry. And I'm actually getting referrals from my parents. So I have an appointment set up, and I feel like I haven't been doing much. I fire just lit under me, and I'm ready.
So, Diana, something to keep in the back of your mind, no matter how good you do at your seminar when you're presenting in Spanish, remember that it's going to be 100% better and then some than what I would have done. So me hablo poquito español. You're going to be providing a service to people that 90% of agents or better probably couldn't even do.
That's true.
So,
yeah.
I mean, that's huge. So don't negate that at all. And that's a super huge need too.
I had the first thing happen to me this year. I finally had a seminar that I didn't have anybody reply to, and I've had 2. So what did I do? I went and lined up 3 more seminars right behind it, besides the other 2 I had. And I got one that I'm mailing out today or tomorrow for Grand Junction. So
Good.
So if you don't get a lot, just do it, because they will show.
So we have a question. How do you guys market for seminars? We've tried a bunch of different stuff, marketing them on our own, mostly with direct mail drops. I have dabbled with, make sure you're on the direct mail. If you're doing direct mail, you have a QR code with a landing page, because some people don't want to call the RSVP. They want to check a box to RSVP instead. Direct mail, we have converted. We're going to be, upon recommendation, we're going to be using a company called Leading Response for all of our marketing. I mean, I can't say all of our. Shane likes to handwrite his, which has been very effective for him. It allows for a smaller budget, but the same kind of return. It's just very time consumptive. So if you have a lot of time and not a lot of money, then handwriting invitations is effective. Me personally, I'm trying something new this round for our Fort Morgan seminars, and I created and designed an invite on Vistaprint that's basically a graduation invite converted to a invite for a seminar. And so you just market is however you normally market things. So direct mail, since you're good at that, Jalen, I would keep doing direct mail. Just tell the person that you're working with for direct mail, I want to market my seminars, and do a drop for just that. So the next big things for both of you, and I'm excited. Coincidentally, Diana and Fred's first seminars are in the same week. And so that week I get to fly to Lubbock, and then I get to go to Memphis. And so if in case you're out there wondering, is there an easy way and a quick way to fly from Lubbock to Memphis? The answer is no. The answer is no. There is no easy way. You're going to have 15 stops. You might as well get a Greyhound, but I will be there. So I'm excited for that. There's nothing more exciting to me than seeing the eagle jump out of the nest, and watching people have that moment where they're it's not as hard as they thought it was going to be. The people aren't as mean as they imagined them to be, and they are better at this than they thought they were going to be. Those are all things that I would keep reminding yourself, because how you talk to yourself does matter. We're all coming off of SWAT. I'll vouch for that too. So if you've never heard of Nate Alfert's SWAT training, so specialized wealth accumulation,
Strategic wealth accumulation tactics.
Tyler, I apologize.
There's my green.
That up. Yeah, the greens always save my butt because I don't remember jack squat, but I call it SWAT. And for me, it really is some of the most tactical training that you can get, of where it not only it like changes you. Every time I go to a SWAT, it changes me. It changes my understanding of me. It changes my understanding of my friends. It changes my understanding of my colleagues. I took my son Ty this year, and instantly almost he understands me better and I understand him better. And the cool part is I don't have to do anything but be myself. And so when you start to understand that there are different personality types and everybody doesn't think like you, it makes everything okay. Because most of us get frustrated with other people. He's like, aren't you thinking the same way that I think? And we get pissed off, but no, they don't. No, they don't. Right. And so that's my pitch. If look it up, they're opening it up again for next year. It's in Dallas every year. Sign up. And here's what I'll tell you. Buy the biggest ticket you can afford. But go ahead, Shane. You're about to drop in with something.
Well, my thing is to Diana and Fred. I went last year, and I've told Josh, I'm not a raw guy when he goes to this thing. So SWAT really fits me. But the first year I went, I learned some stuff and used it. This year, the second year, it soaked in so much more. So it pays to go year after year. You learn so much more that. And then they got other people speaking every year that might resonate better with you than some that were there.
Let's hammer that point home, Shane. How much from year to year was the same?
I think there's 2 or 3 speakers, and then they had all other new ones.
No, they're not the speakers. The content that Nate trains on.
Oh,
is it the same or different?
It was about half and half to me.
It's virtually the same. He'll add a new twist here and there, but the core of the training is the same. So I would argue this to everybody watching and listening. If you were running a training and the content was the exact same virtually every year, how do you get everybody to buy their ticket again a year in advance, year after year after year? You do that by having a training that impacts lives, that changes people, that actually works. Right. And so if you're looking for motivation, there are seminars and events for motivation. Most of them are built around the mindset, because the mindset matters most. You give me 10 people, 9 of them have the wrong mindset but the right skills, and one of them doesn't have the skills but the right mindset. I will take the right mindset person all day long. I've wasted so much of my life training people that have the right skills but the wrong mindset, and they fail every single time. Okay, but we are running out of time, so we're gonna close it up. What I would like to do is make this. I know everybody on the team can't jump on these every week, but I would love to do these once a month. And I would love to, moving forward, we'll all be on them, but I want to highlight one person on the team each week, and then we go around the horn and ask them questions, and we kind of work it that way, because we didn't have a lot of organization. I wasn't quite sure how this was going. But those out there, our audience, our massive audience right now, 6 people, 8 people, whatever it is, those that watch it later, obviously not everybody can watch live stuff for 2 hours or an hour at a time. But let us know in comments later, comments now. Are there certain topics that you want us to go over? Because we can go over different stuff, but I don't want it to be just Tyler and I every week, or even having another guest on where it's always somebody in the top 1%. These are people on the team that are trying to get to the top 1%. Yes? Is anybody not trying to get to the top 1%? So that there's a journey there. There's a process there. You don't just roll out of bed one day and go, oh, here I am at the top. This is beautiful. But what I can say is everyone on this team is an amazing person. Everyone on this team is a winner. I'm so proud to be in a position to help, be a steward of just helping. I can't take credit for any of this stuff because all of you have the skills. Tyler's amazing and successful because of Tyler. He's not successful because of me. Shane is amazing and successful because of him. Fred's amazing and successful because of himself. Diana, you're a rock star that I didn't realize how dependent I was on. And it's been a very tough, you know how important somebody is when they leave, and then all of a sudden you're trying to fill the gap. Right. So
Sorry.
No, it's a good thing. The beauty of this is we can't tell if you don't have a squad like we have, if you don't have people that love you and care about you and are compassionate for you, this is a cool business where you can find a new team. And I keep campaigning for this, but this is something that needs to be said. But in this business, you are not a prisoner of war. You can choose who you work with. And that's the cool part about this. Anyone on my team could come up to me right now, even right now, live on the podcast. Any one of you could say, I want to release right now. And by the end of the hour, you'll have it. You'll have it. No strings attached. No bullshit. No nothing. And that's the kind of relationships you need to have in this business. And you need to have those conversations. So part of what I do is try to empower, because he never heard from me any of the bullshit that can happen, Fred would just operate as though none of the bullshit ever happens. And he would take for whatever word, if he had a different upline than me, he would take whatever they say as the gospel. And so choose your uplines wisely. Ask questions about yourself. Like, what are you going to do to help me? What are you going to do to plug in? What kind of training do you have? Are you willing to fly out to Memphis and help me? Are you willing to fly to New Mexico? Are you willing to drive all the way to Brush? I will, Shane, just for you, drive 10 miles to help you.
You've already drove. You already brought me a plan.
I promise, right? So again, thank you everyone for attending. We're a minute over time. Have a great day. Crush the day. It's Wednesday. Some people call it hump day. I call it, I don't know what day it is. So once you get to a certain level of running your own business, you don't care what day it is. Is today a day with my family, or is today a day on the grind? And the cool part is eventually you get to flip it around where everybody else is taking their days off on Saturday and Sunday. You can go to Disney World on Wednesday and Thursday and skip the crowds because you can do that. And so keep those kind of things as your eye on the prize. Invest into yourself. Put money, sweat, tears into your business because it's your business and it will grow if you invest into it. I promise. So thanks for joining. Everyone have a great day. We will see you next week. And hopefully we'll see everybody on Friday's Academy live training. And on my team, I better see you on the Friday training because it's an important one. Okay. So everyone have a great day. See you later.